Station wagons don't necessarily make a good church bus, especially the newer ones. I used to have a 9-passenger wagon. Now one of my relatives just bought a brand new Volkswagen SUV, and it'll carry about 6 people at most. But those 9-passenger wagons, they were absolutely great. So had a couple of them. Stay with me here as I talk a little bit about them. Not all change is good. When I look back at the history of the automobile and how it interacts with families and lifestyles, sometimes the changes come along and they reflect who we are. Changes in family, in our houses, in our cars, in our churches. I'm reminded of a automobile I had many years ago, a 1972 Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser. The thing looked like a airport limousine. It was so long. And I believe it had about a 500 cubic inch V8 engine that was made especially for that vehicle. I drove it for a while, had it repainted, had some custom wheels on it. But eventually the engine gave out and threw a rod through the block. And I used it for transporting Sunday school students around. Well, things had to change. That 9-passenger wagon was really nice. That you could put 3 people across the front bench seat. You could put 3 people in the middle, and you could put maybe 3 or 4 people all the way in the back. You see, the seats in the back didn't face the front, didn't face the back. They were 2 seats facing each other, left side and right side. And it was a fantastic car to go to youth events. The vehicle, it gave you a sense of togetherness. The kids could do a sing-along and sing Sunday school songs and church hymns as we went along. They could sit backwards, they could talk back and forth, but that vehicle was very heavy. Had 15-inch wheels on it with, I think it was about 950 by 15 white wall tires on it. You remember white walls, the folks that have been around for a while do. See, the problem was that big old Oldsmobile was kind of like a great big church or great big temple. It's sometimes slow turning, slow moving, even though it has a big engine. And it takes big contributions. It took a lot of fuel to keep that big old 72 Custom Cruiser running. Let alone the cost of those great big white wall tires. And it came to a point as the kids got older and church changed. Well, they didn't need 9 passengers anymore. I went down to a 6-passenger, 7-passenger station wagon, a 1975 white Ford. Had a 351 Cleveland engine. It was rather a peppy motor for that size vehicle, and I had it during my seminary training. So it did rather well. I no longer needed the 9-passenger capacity, so the vehicle I had ran cheaper, had a little less power, but the nice thing was it was a Ford and I could repair it myself, curbside most of the time. And being a little bit shorter in length, it fit better as I had to weave through traffic to get to church on a Sunday morning. However, pretty much like a church that loses a few of its youth members as they go off into their own lives, they go off to college, they'll go off to work or somewhere in a big city. Country churches start to dwindle down in their capacity for load, and same way with these station wagons. There were fewer kids, fewer voices to sing Sunday school and church songs, and gradually the need for a big old wagon just wasn't there anymore. And even now, we find that there's a different kind of vehicle that shows up too often, I think, within church parking lots. And gradually the church dies out as these new SUVs get smaller and smaller. They are filled with people that only go to church occasionally because their children are gone. And pretty soon the choir is no longer available, and it's tough to support a minister. And eventually the church closes its doors. And we can blame it to some degree on the fact that we no longer need that big old 9-passenger station wagon. I say, ask myself, what do we need to do to bring back that big old car that we had back in the 70s? What does the church have to do? Well, I think we need to have more youth, more young people, bigger families. Now, say, well, the economy isn't built for it anymore. I tend to disagree.